Okay, so maybe we'll get started, and as people land in, they might join in. So my name is Erica Balfor. I am a mindfulness teacher for the Mindfulness Centre, which is on Pembroke Street in Dublin 2. You might know it. I'm also a director of the Mindfulness Teachers Association of Ireland, which is a professional body for helping to maintain the standards and the ethics of this profession, and also raises awareness of teachers who follow best practice guidelines and are really qualified. So it's a really good resource to go to if you're looking for a teacher for a mindful self-compassion course or any kind of mindfulness-based intervention. So today I'm here to help us, maybe ease into the webinar, which looks really fascinating and engaging, help us to kind of ground ourselves and settle in, and maybe connect in with our bodies a little bit, and just bring some gentle movement to the places in our bodies, particularly our necks and our shoulders and our spines, that are getting a little bit sort of rusty from all of our work on computers, which is a lot these days, on our phones and so on. So what we're going to be doing is a little bit of sort of lifting our shoulders and twisting and so on. It's all very, very gentle, but really you're the expert here. So knowing that you decide how far you're going to take each move, whether to opt out, to adapt it, to modify it in some way. So really it's about listening into our own bodies and taking care of our own experience, and bringing some gentleness to the body and ease, rather than kind of accomplishing or getting anywhere with this. So shall we begin? Okay, so if it's okay, bringing your 2 feet flat to the floor. And maybe you might lower your gaze. You can close your eyes if you feel that's something that's really comfortable to do. And just to start off with, maybe if it's okay, moving away from the back of your chair, and kind of really can spend a lot of time kind of slumping these spines without realizing it. So this mindful awareness helps us to sort of see the way we're holding our bodies. So if we move away from the back of the chair, just sort of so that our spines relearn how to be self-supporting. And if it's okay, maybe just beginning to sort of move into presence by getting a sense of your whole body sitting here, and a sense of the way you're feeling right now, how you are. And you might be feeling tired or wired, or maybe a little bit anxious if you're speaking, or a whole myriad of things. But the invitation is to see how it might be to allow things to be just as they are. So letting ourselves be just exactly as we are. And maybe bringing our attention to our breath. Maybe a nice big deep breath might be just what the doctor ordered. And then an invitation to bring your awareness to your shoulders, and just inviting the shoulders up towards the ears. Connecting in with how the shoulders are feeling right now. And again, we're much more about bringing some kind of ease and gentleness to the shoulders, rather than some kind of pushing through any kind of pain barrier or whatever. So really listening to the way that you're inviting your attention here. And so how would it be to bring the shoulders, roll them backwards, maybe allow them to sort of soften down the back. The shoulder blades might kind of flatten out. What does that feel like? And then inviting the shoulders to the front of the body and up again. And so this is this opportunity for you to really take a chance to take care maybe bring some compassion or appreciation to this part of your body. So just rotating the shoulders in whatever way you feel your shoulders need today. My shoulders are really quite, kind of stiff and problematic. So I'm going to do very small, gentle circles, but maybe you have very flexible, strong shoulders and you might like to do nice, big, rigorous movements to warm up in this part of the body. The shoulders really need to move, and because of our sedentary lifestyles, or most of us have a sort of sedentary lifestyle, they tend not to get the movement that they need. Would you like to reverse the rotation? So we're just connecting really simply in with these sensations, the kind of felt sense of this moment, and then just coming back to settle into stillness again, and just feeling how the shoulders might be experienced just now. Is there a sense of warming up? Is there no sensations at all? So just bringing that above, the line into conscious awareness. And then how would it be to maybe invite your ear to your shoulders? So either side, it's okay. So again, being really careful with your neck. And maybe feeling a little bit of stretch and openness happening down one side and coming back to center, and then inviting the ear to the other shoulder and just feeling into that, and any kind of sharp pain softening out of that, and only going as far as feels okay for your neck. So we're really listening and taking care of these bodies, which might be a bit of a change. So coming back to center, and then just an invitation to look out over the right shoulder perhaps. Again, only going as far as your flexibility allows. So just looking out over the right shoulder, coming back to center. Would it be okay to look out over the left shoulder? Just feeling that sense of that part of the spine, the cervical spine, spiraling a little. Coming back to center, and maybe one more of those, looking out over the right. So simple. And then looking out over the left. But yet, it's something that we don't really do consciously maybe enough during the day. Coming back to center. And again, working a little bit further on the shoulders, because they're often an area that we can feel a lot of tension and pain. How would it be to bring your fingers, maybe they might come up onto the tops of the shoulders, and we're going to draw, maybe we'll do some swing boats instead, some little swing boats with our elbows. So drawing the elbows upwards and then swinging around and drawing them backwards. And again, maybe there might be just little very gentle swing boats, or maybe if you really like to get a sense of bringing this gentle movement in between the shoulder blades and along the shoulder girdle, that you might really explore this movement. You might bring your breath in, so maybe breathing in on the way up and breathing out on the way down. Maybe a sigh on the way out. And then coming to settle again, hands on your lap if that feels okay. And just pausing. Let's just pause here and notice what it feels like now before we rush on. So really knowing, having a felt sense of a pause and being here just in our bodies. Wonderful. And so now an invitation to maybe twist the body. It's such a good stretch for these bodies. So inviting maybe your left hand to your right knee. So it's sort of opposite hand to knee. And then the other hand will go in towards the back of your chair. And then just twisting over to one side. So for me right now, I've got my left hand on my right knee, and my right hand is in behind the back of my chair. And I'm just going to twist around to the right-hand side, looking at over the back shoulder, but only twisting as far as feels okay. And your hip might want to go as well, and that's fine. So twisting and feeling into the spiral, breathing, and then maybe very gently untwisting, maybe looking at over the front shoulder, if that feels okay, or maybe just staying in the middle if that feels better. And let's look back out over the back shoulder once again, feeling into the twist. Maybe on an out breath, coming forward to look out over the front shoulder once again. And then on an in-breath, coming back to center and settling and pausing just for another moment. Just this. How does the spine feel now? Is there any sensations, maybe a bit of a stronger signal coming from the spine that we can pay attention to? And let's do it on the other side. So right hand on the left knee this time, and the left hand in behind the back of your chair, maybe, if this feels okay. And then just twisting out to look out over the back shoulder, which in my case is my left shoulder. And then looking at over the right shoulder again, the front shoulder. And maybe marrying it with your breath if it feels okay. So breathing in and aware that you're breathing in and aware that you're twisting. And breathing out, looking out over the front shoulder once again. And then just coming back to neutral and coming back to center. I'm pausing here. So useful and important to weave in and take these little pauses. Allow things to be just as they are. And so I'm inviting you to make sure that you're nice and steady in your chair and the 2 feet on the floor. And then your left hand might come down towards the side of the chair. And your right hand, we're just going to stretch it up into the space above you towards the ceiling. And then maybe a little gentle bend over, in my case, towards the left, and just feeling into that sense of opening and stretch that's happening maybe on down the right hand side of your body, and just only going as far as it feels right for you. So really paying attention to any kind of discomfort and maybe softening out. So breathing here and then coming back to center and allowing that arm to fall softly back to the side body, back to your lap. What's here now? So maybe just connecting in a really simple way to the sensations here, using those as our anchor to the present moment. So our feet and our seat and the hands are resting in maybe a sense of energy and blood flow, aliveness, and the breath. And then maybe this feeling that you might like to stretch on the other side, maybe that's around. So we'll invite the left hand up, excuse me, and stretching into the space above you, maybe even looking up if you like. And then the right hand will be down perhaps the side of your chair to support your side body, and you might just like to have a little bend, feeling into that little stretch. And noticing and remembering to be here, to wake up and to be in your life, and connecting in with these bodies once again. Excuse me, coming back to center. When we were small children, we were so embodied, playing and skipping and climbing and running all day. And somewhere along the line, we grew very distant from these bodies for various reasons. So connecting in now. Excuse me. Pausing. Wonderful. And now, how would it be to have, if you have enough room, to sweep the arms out to either side and allow them to then move up towards the ceiling once again. And if it's okay, maybe you might like to press the palms together And then invite the pressed palms to lower down, and maybe they land in towards the heart. And you can pause here. There's so many nerve endings and aliveness and sort of complexity in the palms of the hands. It's a really clear signal again, to focus in the mind in the body. So let's do that one more time. Let's breathe in. Nice big stretch upwards, really enlivening. And then maybe the palms of the hands might press together, and then maybe on an out breath, we can lower the pressed palms down together. And if the sides of your thumbs could press in on your sternum, all the better. And just feeling into this for a moment. And then allowing the hands to come to rest on the knees once again. And so coming now to bring our attention to the legs. And how would it be to invite, if you have enough room, your right knee up towards your chest. You probably can't see what I'm doing there. And, if your heel maybe might rest on the seat of your chair, maybe it won't, but you can play around with this. So just sort of sense of opening up in the hips and in the thighs maybe. You might hold your knee a little bit further away from the body. That might be a modification that feels okay. So just holding, pausing here, and then letting the foot fall back down towards the floor. A little pause again here. And then inviting the other knee, the left knee in my case, up towards the torso once again. And just hugging the knee in, if that feels okay. Modifying or opting out of this if that makes sense for your body. And just feeling into that little waking me up in the back of the hips, the lower back maybe. And then inviting that foot to fall down. And then pausing here. What's around right now? Lovely. And then how would it be to stretch out, if you have enough space, your right leg and sort of lengthening out through the heel? So really feeling the sense of extending your leg, maybe engaging the thigh muscles and the calf muscles, and your foot sort of nice and flexed, toes maybe pointing up towards the ceiling. And then just allowing the foot to land back on the floor again and resting in awareness again. And what's here now? Maybe there's some information that's available to listen to from coming up from the legs. And then again, we'll switch over and stretch out the opposite leg. So feeling into that stretch of the left leg, lengthening out through the heel, foot flexed so the toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. Maybe there's a sense of muscles being engaged, and just being present and connecting in with that. And then gently allowing the foot to come to land again on the floor. Let's just be present for a moment or two with this body, just as it is again, connecting in and listening carefully, like we'll be doing all day at the webinar, to listen carefully. We think that these bodies are just some kind of donkey to carry around our brains. And what we don't realize is that for one neuronal message traveling down from the brain to the body, there are 8 messages traveling up from the body to the brain. So it's a much more of a bottom-up system than we might be aware of. So listening in to what the body is saying is a really profound way to gather all the information about the moment. Okay, and so maybe just moving from that gentle yoga into our sitting practice. So making any kind of adjustments to your body right now, to your posture, to allow you to come into a comfortable and kind position for a little sitting practice that will help us to really ground ourselves in our bodies, to be aware, to notice whenever we've got caught up in distraction, and to sort of gently navigate the mind back to right here in this moment so that we can open up and listen once again, and to really learn how to pause as a way to interrupt the kind of momentum of automatic pilot and all that kind of habitual sort of maybe distraction that this world that we live in has been cultivating within all of us. So that's coming to pause just now. So again, maybe landing into these bodies, just becoming aware of what it's like to be sitting. The body is sitting, the body is breathing. The body is listening. Maybe you can hear some sounds in the space that you're in at the moment. Sounds, other voices from housemates, or maybe there's something going on out in the street. So really connecting in with the present moment by just listening. There can be something really quite soothing and settling about just listening. And then inviting you to find a place where you might be able to really comfortably connect with your breath, if that's okay today. So, maybe at your nostrils, or maybe you might feel your breath at the back of your throat or the roof of your mouth. For some of us, it's that feeling of our shoulders, or maybe somewhere in your chest, maybe in your belly, if you're able to sort of breathe down deeply in your belly. So whichever place, just choosing one place, and let's just be present to the felt sense of the inflow and the outflow of our breath. How does it feel? Does it feel smooth or cold, sharp? And it's useful to pay attention to our breaths. In a way, it helps to move that kind of setting from a fight flight into tending and befriending and ease. But it's also this really useful kind of tether to the present moment, and helps us notice when we've drifted off and got caught up in a little bit of planning or remembering and daydreaming. And so when we notice that, we have this little choice point. We can pause and re-engage with this breath, this moment. So we're really learning to remember to be here for our lives each time we do that. And then how would it be to to widen out and sort of stretch your attention to take in all of the body sitting here. So maybe you might be able to notice places in the body where there is tension, tightness. Maybe the scalp or the eyes, around the eyes sometimes, or around the jawline. Often the shoulders, maybe even in the hands. And there might be other places in the body that feel really quite easeful and comfortable. So can you also notice those? And you might choose even to play around with or experiment, inviting those places that feel a little bit tight and tense to see if they're willing to soften a little bit. And they may or they may not be, but you can inquire. And then this sense of opening once again to the experience of the space around you, beyond the shell of the skin of the body, the room around you, a sense of the atmosphere, the way that our skin's so sensitive, we can feel the temperature of the room and the sounds, and this awareness of maybe inner experience and outer experience, feeling the full aliveness of that. So just to finish, bringing this little mindful movement and mindfulness practice to a close, is a little poem by Rachel Halstead. It's called Stop and Stand. Stop and stand on your patch of ground where your feet are. Really stand there, all of you, body and mind. From this place comes all your wisdom, comes every answer that is possible for you to know right now. So getting ready to hear a little bell. And maybe carrying this cultivated awareness with you as a thread throughout the rest of the day. So thank you very much for joining in and for your attention, and the best of luck for the panelists and the speakers, and enjoy your day. Wishing you all really well.